Hi, good to connect with you. The objective of this video is to refresh, reinforce and reboot the learnings we had in the fantastic 1.5 days spent together in the program of managing workplace relations. Now, if I may just take you back to those 1.5 days, we started off by introductions, yes, and apart from introductions, we moved forward to do a round robin exercise. There were 4 charts which are put up in the 4 corners of the room. The first one said define conflicts, the second one said define relationships, the third one said how do you manage conflicts, and the fourth said how do you enhance relationships. And when we, based on the group discussion we did and we wrote the answers, we realized not all of us look at the same thing with the same eye. So can I appreciate that diversity? Can I appreciate how others see conflict? Can I appreciate how others understand relationships? Can I appreciate how others enhance relationships? Can I also appreciate how others are able to manage the conflicts? From then on, we moved on to do an exercise on silence sequence. So many assumptions which were taken. Most of us thought that if there are 20 people or 15 people, there will be as managers. However, it was actually, a bouncer. It stumped all of you. They were and you made a fantastic attempt. Unfortunately, we were not able to do what we were supposed to do, but it gave us a lot of insights. Can we look at the planning? Can we understand what are the various options which could be available? Can we exercise those options? Can we think beyond what could be the conventional way of thinking to look at and solve a challenge which may overcome? From there, we also saw 2 videos. One video was of Ruben, which spoke about how and why this program is important, and we also did a recap of complete AMEP program. So people who were there in the AMEP program, for them it was a complete refresh of the previous program, and people who were not there, it brought in a certain sense of awareness that what is it which was covered in the previous program, because this program primarily was also building on to what was done earlier. From there, we spoke about how relationships are being built, and we realized there are 2 kinds of needs which all of us as human beings have: emotional and rational. Emotional needs are needs that are inside me, which I seldom express but I always expect. The rational needs are product, process, which are by and large common across the organizations. Emotional needs, which are to be felt. We spoke about trust, we spoke about sincerity, we spoke about satisfaction. All these are feelings. You don't carry a trustometer, you don't carry a sincerometer, you don't carry a happiness meter. These are things which you actually feel. People may be able to copy the products, your services, but nobody will be able to copy the manner in which you manage your colleagues, your stakeholders and your customers and your users. And then we spoke in detail about trust. So trust is the residue of fulfilled promises. And the easiest way in which I have understood how trust can be built is do as you say as you do. And there are 4 components of trust we spoke of. A for ability. I don't know what kind of person he or she is, but all I know, this person is able. Second, believability. Only based on gut feeling, I believe this person can do it, or she can do it, or he can do it. And C, connectedness. Common interest, common region, religion, same geography. All this binds into something called as connectedness. And the 4th is dependability. I had put my faith and trust in this person, he or she delivered it, I can continue to put my faith and trust in this person. So when we put our trust into somebody, we use a combination of A, B, C or D and vice versa. From there, we move forward. We also spoke about how communication is important in building relationships. And we did an exercise wherein we realized that it is not about how you say and what you say is important. It is about how the other person to whom you are communicating has understood. So the ball is in your court when you tell something to someone to check, is it understood in the same manner in which you want it to be understood. And then we spoke of neuroscience. If you remember the exercise, we did a mindfulness exercise where we were told to close our eyes and just focus on the breath for the next 5 minutes. Ironically, we could not finish 5 minutes. There was so much of a restlessness just after 2.5 minutes. which tells us all that mental chatter which is going on. As I speak to you in this video as well, a lot of mental chatter is going on within my head, within your head, and within all of us, which means there is a lot of untapped, unutilized potential lying in our subconscious brain. How can we tap into it? Because that defines my mindset, because that defines my internal conflict. And if I'm able to take care of my internal conflict, my external conflict management becomes much easier. So that's the first phase which we really focused on. And we also realized how we have an ability to rewire our brain. The first thing we spoke about was the biology of reframing. How can we start talking to ourselves in the third person? So if I am Jimmy, so Jimmy will tell Jimmy what Jimmy should do. And this, what neuroscience, the research says, will bring an amazing impact on the execution of the things which you want to happen. Pick up sports. You will find a lot of sports people, a lot of athletes doing this technique to the T. Second thing we spoke about was the choice of words. How unknowingly we end up using loads and loads of negative words. So can I be conscious about the words I speak? According to neuroscience, each and every word which we use is a unit of energy. It is up to us how and where we want to spend it. We also spoke about a very simple example of a farmer. Imagine and remember, if there are two fields, in one field the farmer is growing wheat, in the second field the farmer is growing, let's say, a crop of poppy husk. The ground cannot differentiate between what is a good crop and what is a bad crop. The law of nature is it is going to give back in abundance. Similarly, take this example to your brain and you will realize the brain cannot distinguish between what is a good thought and what is a bad thought. To brain, a thought is a thought. So remember, what you sow, so shall you reap. So if you really want to live an exceptional life, be aware of the kind of thoughts you are sowing in your head. However, if this was so easy, things would have been great. Well, the good thing is, yes, you have the ability to rewire your brain. And the second thing is, today, you have an ability to check what is coming or blocking your sense of possibility. Remember we spoke of three things? Possibility, probability and reality. Well, current reality is you're probably watching this video. Possibility is this video might have come to you. How can you utilize this video to break some impossibility barriers? Probability is when this video has come to you, what are the chances of you doing the video fully or completely, right? And anything and everything happens in the realm of possibility. The clothes what I wear, this technology with which I can interact with you, everything did think that these things are possible, and that's how they came into being. However, brain responds very differently to our sense of possibility. So through our possibility index, we understood what is my current sense of possibility. That defines my mindset, that in turn defines my internal conflict. So the first thing we spoke about was of burnout. Remember burnout? When there's too much of work which I'm doing. The easiest way to overcome burnout is take a break. But take a break does not mean you go on a holiday always. Take a break could be doing something else instead of what you have been doing so far. Second thing we spoke about was feeling lost. Where is too many things to choose from? Brain says no, I don't want to do it. So there are two things which you could do to overcome this. One, make a choice. Do not be afraid of the consequences. Right? Third, we spoke of task difficulty. If you remember, I shared a quote from Gita Press Gorakhpur. आदमी काम करने से नहीं थकता, किंतु काम की अधिकता से थकता है. We do not get tired because there is work. Since we have to work, we get tired, and that's what your task difficulty is. So what you could do is, if you remember, you can pick up the big rocks first, do the big task first, and you will realize the other ones falls around it. The next one was conditioning. How unknowingly we are getting trapped into our own habits, doing the same thing over and over again. The easiest way and easiest thing you can do to break conditioning barrier is pick up a new habit. Think of doing something what you are supposed to do in a new and a different manner without losing the impact or probably enhancing the impact. The next one we spoke about was anxiety, or so to say depression. Label the feeling. And once you label the feeling, ask yourself why you are feeling the way you are feeling. And that's the easiest way to overcome anxiety or depression. And there was biased attention. Remember, energy goes where the attention goes. Can I look at the complete and the bigger picture so that I can overcome my biased attention? And the last one was difficulty imagination. We are not able to foresee how the future will look like. Remember, creative visualization, a very simple exercise wherein close your eyes and imagine the future, what you want to have. Live that in your brain. Let there be constraints, alright, do not focus on the constraints. Just focus on, if there were no constraints, how the life will look like. And that's the easiest way in which we can overcome these 7 factors which are captured or measured in the possibility index. Each one of us have top 3. Focus on the top 3. Diligently follow what you are supposed to do to overcome these top 3 over a period of 4 to 6 months. And if you do the possibility index again, you will realize there's a needle which has shifted from what it was to what it is now. We also saw the biological proof of possibility through a video wherein for a little girl, she was having a lot of seizures, and doctors said the only way this can be taken care of is she has to be operated and half of her brain would be cut off, and that vacuum will be filled up with cerebral liquid. And to everyone's surprise, the body, the brain regenerated itself and filled up that vacuum. And today, that girl is leading an absolute normal life, which tells us that yes, the power of thinking, the power of brain, the power of the supercomputer you and I have, the power, the thinking is real. All we have to do is rewire and tap into it. Now, from the first phase of internal conflict, we moved on to the next phase, how I interact with my colleagues, the environment I build in, through Thomas Kilmann conflict grid, to understand the difference between turtle style, the teddy bear style, shark style, fox and owl. If you remember turtles are somebody who are low on relationship and low on task. Somebody who will avoid conflicts. Not only the conflict, but they will also avoid the person they are in conflict with. So that's a turtle style. Second style we discussed was shark. Somebody who's always ready to attack. Somebody who's always keen to win by overpowering, by intimidating, or by doing something or the other. Because for sharks, conflict can be settled only by one person winning and the other person losing. We also saw teddy bear. To teddy bear, relationships are more important. They say, I don't mind losing in order for you to win, to maintain our relationships. So teddy bears end up accommodating. And these 3 are our ancestral styles based on the way my parents were conditioned and so on and so forth. However, we also learned fox and owl, 2 behaviors which we can learn as we get the ability to modify our behaviors. Foxes are somebody who are more into compromising mode, 50-50. I will give a part of my growth, you should also give a part of your growth. I will give a part of my relationship, you should also give a part of your relationship. Let us agree to a common good, 50-50, a common ground. And then we also learned about owl. Owls are somebody who will look at a conflict as a problem. And there's a problem, there must be a solution. They see conflict as an opportunity to strengthen the relationship, and they will not sit quietly until the time your goals are achieved as well as their goals are achieved. They believe in win-win. And for this reason, this style is also called as confronting or collaborating. And then we did perception mapping, how I see and perceive myself, and we also, through the tool, looked at all the scores on all these 5 types for each one of us. And that was, my dear friends, day 1. On day 2, we started by looking at the scores, drawing a relation in terms of what is the general behavior or pattern in which I behave in a conflict scenario. And from there, we moved on to understand that how do I do my stakeholder management? There are 2 things which are very critical: agreement and trust. And through an exercise, we realized while the trust was high amongst the colleagues in that exercise, there was a lot of disagreement. So there are people who are allies, which means they are high in agreement as well as high on trust. At the same time, we also have adversaries, people who are low on both. Then we also had opponents, where the agreement is not there but the trust is high. And then we also have bedfellows, wherein my trust is low but the agreement is high. And we also have fence sitters. So when I'm into any situation, wherein a conflict is there or I have to build a relationship, can I focus on my stakeholder map? And then we also looked at an interesting exercise. Remember who lost how much? And instead of looking at an answer, we were building our point of view through understanding others' point of view. Which means instead of focusing on why your answer is not same with my answer, let me push my answer to you because my answer is right and your answer is wrong. Can we start appreciating so what? And the moment we move or turn from why to so what, I become more accepting, I become more compassionate, more considerate of the mindset of the person I'm going to deal with, which would help me to build my relationships, which would help me to reduce the conflicts, which will help me to reduce the learning curve. Easier said than done though. However, if done, it can give you results on unimaginable proportions. We also saw, while building a POV, there are three things which are critical. Who is your user? Who is your customer? Or who is your stakeholder? What are his or her needs? And what is the insight you could draw? Which means I will not only look at the analysis part, can I also do synthesis? And we also discussed there are 4 ways, or rather you can create a small 4-quadrant map, or so to say an empathy map. Think, say, do, feel. While you were interacting with your partner or your colleague or your stakeholder, what do you think they were doing? What do you think they were thinking? What do you think they were saying? What is it that can tell you about their beliefs? What is it that can tell you a few things which they used frequently? That would help you to do synthesis. Now, if you look at this entire storyboard, you looked at your internal conflict, you looked at the sense of possibility which is blocking you, you also looked at how do I interact with the people around you through Thomas Kuhn and conflict grid, and we also discussed what is your predominant style on the conflict grid and how do I understand the other's point of view. The last thing which is left now is how do I influence others, and then we looked at the conflict management styles and how conflict management can help me to influence others. And through the tool we understood our different styles. Friendliness, the most common one, however, has a medium to a long-term impact. Good style because everybody loves being friendly, but the consequence of being over-friendly could be people may think you have vested interest in it. People may think why this individual is so friendly with me, and it is difficult for you to give a reprimand if required. From friendly style, we moved on to bargain. Understood the bargaining power, the ability influencing? I do something for you, you do something for me. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. However, it has got a very short-term impact. The moment the ability is over, influence is also over. And then we look at reasoning, something with data, facts, figures. Very good way because most of the people, by logic, most of the people look at reasoning. However, the consequence could be you may be able to contribute only to a narrow track. Because if you don't have data, facts, figures, you will not be able to influence as you will if you have data, facts and figures. We also looked at being assertive. Without hurting the feelings and emotions of the other person, you are able to share and put forth your point. A good way, which has got a medium and a long-term impact, the consequence could be people may think that you are fussy, you are inflexible. Right? And we also looked at higher authority. Very interesting one. A lot of people bring their position, power and authority to influence others. Well, it has got a very short-term impact because the moment your authority is gone, your position designation is gone, influencing is also gone. And we also looked at correlation. If you look at positive word, it brings collaboration. If you look at from the negative perspective, it brings in cartel. And the last one is sanctions. If you remember, I told you, use sanctions to the extent possible only where there is a point of no return. Because sanction is something like punishment. And through these styles, we realized how I normally do the influencing, and we also looked at when people resist when I'm influencing, how my style undergoes a change. And we can actually see the difference. And the challenge is how do I ensure whether people are resisting or they are not, can I remain the same? Let there be as less as possible deviation from what you are. And then we also did an exercise capturing all what you want to do in your life blues. Remember the blue pouch and those puzzles? And how in the end those life blues were converted into life greens. the action plan on how you will achieve what you want to achieve. I hope this video helped you to refresh, reboot and reinforce what we did in 1.5 days in the Managing Workplace Relations workshop. In case of any questions, in case of any more queries, in case of any more details you need, feel free to reach out to me. All the best, catch you soon.